But at the very end of this video, I'm going to give you the recipe for that pork chop sauce.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and welcome to another Fireside Chat. Well, let me go ahead and tell you what's going to happen in this video in case you want to fast forward to the end and cut through the beginning. I'm going to do a whole lot of things, but at the very end of this video, I'm going to give you the recipe for that pork chop sauce. Finally, I'm going to do that. That's at the very end of the video. I'm also going to discuss a little bit about auctions and buy it now. I want to answer a few viewer comments, such as why do you do auctions all the time instead of buy it now? I would much rather you do a buy it now. I'm busy, I don't have time to sit around and watch my computer all day long and look at auctions, so why can't you do that? Well, I'll talk to you a little bit about that as well. I'm also going to show you some things that I just bought, just a few things that I got yesterday, and give you some updates on a couple of items that you've kind of been waiting for me to list, and I finally have them listed. Ooh! Oh, there's nothing better than a nice hot cup of tea or coffee on a cold wintry day. And we sure are going through some cold wintry weather. I think almost 30 states in the United States are affected by this really cold weather. And I know you guys out in Texas are really feeling it too. You're going to have some unusual low temperatures. There's ice in the southeast, snow in the north, and of course, isn't it always cold and windy in Chicago? Well, I'm doing okay. I am thankful. I have a nice fire here and some coffee to drink and friends to share some time with. That's you, friends. Well, while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and talk about this. Let me see. A few videos ago, I showed you this pattern. I didn't know what it was. I kind of thought it had an English look to it, but there's nothing on the back. So I wasn't really sure who made this. Well, there were lots of guesses. And as usual, some folks guess and other people are certain they know what it is, but I was clueless. And then, well, let me take a sip and then I'll put it down and tell you what it is. I went and dug up one of my favorite books that I've had for a while. I want to tell you quickly about it. It's called The Collector's Encyclopedia of American Dinnerware. Now this is the second edition. It's an identification and values guide by Joe Cunningham. And this is Collector's Books, a division of Schroeder Publishing Company, of course. I'll let you see the cover. Now, what I like about this book is it's going to go through all of the top makers of American dinnerware, and it's only going to list sort of a representation of some of the patterns. This is not a tell-all book about every single pattern. So you're going to get a little blurb. Let's see, this is Hall China, so you get a little bit of history of the Hall China Company. You'll get some of the back stamps over the years and just some of the pieces that the Hall Company made, but not everything. I did not find that cup and saucer in this book, but as I was going through it, I wound up on the Sebring pottery page. Let's go to that quickly. Here it is. And as I was flipping through, there really wasn't a whole lot But one of the things I noticed about Sebring is, take a good look at this cup. You see the little, oh, I don't know, panels in it? I noticed that, you're not going to be able to see this very well, that several of their pieces of pottery have those little panels in there. So I got to think, well, maybe it's a Sebring pattern. I then went online to replacements.com or dot something. I have visited their shop down in North Carolina. It is amazing. If you want to take a tour of their place, it's unbelievable. But I put in Sebring pottery, and there must have been like 500 pages, and I bet it took me a half an hour. I scrolled through page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finally, I get to page 39 or something, and bam, there it is. And it's simply called SEB 143, I think. SEB, short for Sebring, and 143, just the name of the cup and of the pattern. So, but I would not have known to begin with Sebring unless I saw something somewhat close to it in this book. And that's where I think books are so helpful, and I love them so much. Now, there were a couple of subscribers who got it as well. In the comments, they said, hey, check out Sebring. I hadn't seen their comments. I saw their comments after I spent the time looking it up. But just to show you a way in which you can find items, I like this book. As I said, it was, well, I don't know the price of it when I got it years ago. I've had it forever. I usually write my name and the dates in all the books that I get. So I thought I would tell you that. There's the answer to that cup and saucer. Okay, let's keep going. Somebody said, when are you listing the Lady Elaine Fairchild cat? Well, she's finally listed. I got her listed today. I'm not sure what took me so long. She's fierce. I love that face. And I call her Lady Elaine Fairchild because my friend Jason across the river said that that's who she reminds him of. So she's listed, she's up for auction, she's going to be up for 7 days. If you're interested in her, go check her out. Also, I have a couple of latecomers, well, a latecomer to the All Creatures Great and Small auction. And that is this Piggy Pig. And he's made in Japan. And that paper sticker is after the war. That's probably a 1960s pig. But I don't usually find pig figurines. And he doesn't have any damage at all. No chips on his ears, no broken legs. And so, but I just got him yesterday, so he's not listed yet. But I think most of the All Creatures Great and Small auctions ended today. So Kitty is on, Lady Elaine Fairchild cat is on, Pig is going to be on real soon. I wanted to show him to you, just to tell you. I also went thrifting yesterday in the snow, and I went to 3 shops I've never been to. I decided I'm going to go in a different direction, and I got on Baltimore Pike. That's in West Philadelphia. You can get all the way to Baltimore on it, but that wasn't my intent. I snaked my way all through that area. Stopped at 3 shops where I had never been before, and I did buy this. Now, a lot of this has been reproduced, so you do have to be careful. And I'm going to do my research, which I haven't done yet. But I'm fairly certain that this is a Northwood piece. At least it's a Northwood mold. Now, if it's an original piece of Northwood, it's Vaseline glass, and it would date to about 1910 or so, something like that. And I think this is called beaded panel, because you see the beads are beaded something. It's a little vase, Vaseline glass with white opalescent. And I have got a ton of uranium glass, which I'm going to be getting to, but I got to do Granny's vanity first. I've been promising. Then we'll get to the uranium glass. Then we'll talk about, is it Vaseline or is it uranium? And what's the big deal? What's the big difference? So that's not listed yet, but it soon will be. I just wanted to show you the things that I just bought yesterday. Also, excuse me, you see I'm getting all choked up because you don't find what I'm about to show you in the condition that it's in. That made no sense at all. Stop being so dramatic. Look at that. 1920s. Yeah. And so now what is the name of the print? How do you know it's 1920s? Well, after you've collected for so long and been doing this for so long, you just learn it. But this is a very famous print, and it was very popular. It probably sold in dime stores all across the country. Many American homes had this on their walls. It's a very 1920s frame, 1920 to 1930. That's a new piece of cardboard on the back. It's not acid free, so I'm going to have to replace that. But it is the original glass. And we see a Native American on a horse, and the print itself is based on a sculpture, which I think is up in Boston somewhere, if I remember. And I think this is called Appeal to the Great Spirit. Now, stop Googling everything. All right, you can start with Google, but you can't identify stuff by Googling. I say that all the time. You can type in Indian, Native American, horse, print, blah, 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 and you'll see this come up. And in many cases, it's erroneously called The End of the Trail or The Great Warrior. That's a completely different print, and it was a popular print at the same time. But it's the profile of a warrior sort of bent over, the horse's head is down. I think he has a spear and he's kind of bent over and the sun is going down. That's End of the Trail or The Great Warrior or The Last Warrior or something like that. But this is Appeal to the Great Spirit. The artist is Colin, not Dylan. I don't remember. It's in this washing machine. But that's who did the sculpture. And the statue, again, is somewhere up in Boston. So it's in really good shape. There's no foxing, no silverfish have gotten to this. There's no rippling in it. There isn't any water damage. It's not faded. It is A+ condition, and it's close to 100 years old. It's hard to find prints like this in this condition, so it's beautiful. Now, hundreds of thousands of them were made. What is it worth? Well, it could sell for $25. It could sell for $90. If somebody really wants this and they're holding out for one in pristine condition, you get a couple people fighting over it and you'll maybe get $80 for it or so. It's just, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I've never owned one, and it's really a beautiful print. So let me now address the issue of auction or buy it now. I received a question or a comment from a subscriber who said, I wish you would list your items as a buy it now because I don't like auctions. something to the effect of, I don't really have time to sort of watch auctions. I prefer to, see it, see the price, buy it right now. I can't hang on for 7 days and wait and see what an auction is going to do. I completely understand that, but let me put a little twist on this that maybe some folks might not have thought about. And this has happened to me as a seller and as a buyer. Remember, I buy off of eBay as well. If I show you this cup and saucer in a thrift haul and I list it as a buy it now, the very first person who wants it and sees it in that video can go and get it. That takes away the possibility of anyone else buying it. And so, it's sort of whoever is lucky enough to watch the video first and see the item that they want, they win. I think it's much more fair to list it as a 7-day auction, which gives everybody a chance. So if you don't get to see the video the first day or the second day or the third day, you have a few more days to possibly buy an item that you're interested in or have a chance to get it anyway. I usually list my items and then do the haul video. So when the video is new, the items are fresh in my store and they're going to be there for, depending on when you watch the video, 6 or 7 days. So if you say, I just want to buy it now, well, there may be 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 other people that want to buy it now, and they might get there before you. Whereas if I list it as an auction, it's again going to be up there for 6, 7 days, and it gives more people an opportunity, a fair opportunity, to then, go and put in a bid and perhaps win the item. Now, to address the question, I don't have time to sit and watch an auction. Well, some of you may not realize that if you are outbidded, eBay will let you know before the auction ends, and you don't have to watch it. But let me tell you what I do. Let's say I have 8 cups and Uncle Henry breaks one. Now I have 7. I'm having a dinner party in 2 weeks and I need another cup and saucer because I'm having 8 people over. Okay. And it's an auction. What do I say to myself? I say, Scott, how much would you pay for that? I mean, what's it worth to me? I'll pay $5 for it. I'll pay $80 for it. I don't know. Maybe the most I want to pay for this is $29.99. And if it goes for 1 penny higher than that, too bad, I don't want it. Well, I will type in $29.99. Now that doesn't mean that the bidding jumps to $29.99. No. That's the most that I'm willing to pay. Now I walk away from it. I have alerts set so that if I get outbidded, eBay will let me know, and then it's a matter of my self-control. Am I going to go back and put in another bid, or am I going to stick to my guns and say, okay, and no, I'm not going. Enough is enough. That's all I want to pay. I'm done. My bid will automatically be increased as other people bid. So if there's an opening bid of $5 and I bid $29.99, the teacup is only going to jump by small increments as people bid, and then I drop out if it goes above $29.99. So I don't have to sit and watch. I don't have to sit and wait. I can just put in my bid, and if I get it, I get it, and if I don't, I don't. I really don't know of any other fair way to do it. Because buy it now, as I said, first person who sees it, they get it. Nobody else has a chance. Then what happens to me? I get all of these emails. Scott, where's that teacup you had in your video yesterday? I don't see it listed. Then I write and I say, well, I'm sorry, you're too late. Somebody else got it. Oh, I needed it. I wanted it. So they lose. And I don't like doing it that way. So I put items up for 7-day auction to give everybody a fair chance to go in and bid. And It's the same thing when I want something. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, and I have to decide how much I want to pay or how much I'm willing to pay, and then I just walk away from it. And I'm pleasantly surprised if I win, and I'm not terribly disappointed if I lose because I have my money. Okay. I hope that helps you understand a little bit about why I choose to do the auctions rather than the buy it now. Now finally, the video is almost over. Now let me give you that pork chop recipe. Get your pens and pencils out. It's not that complicated, and there are only a few ingredients, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Tomato ketchup, any brand you like. Worcestershire sauce, pronounce it any way you want. Brown sugar, lemon juice, lemons, salt and pepper, tap water, or water as the rest of the country pronounces it, and that's it. Now I have a mystery ingredient that I put in, which is personal. I'll tell you that as well. So what do you do with all of these ingredients? Well, I don't actually have the recipe, but my mother just did it. You just get a little mixing bowl. If you're doing 4 pork chops in an electric frying pan or skillet or that kind of thing, from what I remember, it's about maybe a half a cup or 2/3 cup of ketchup. I think it's about maybe 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. About a cup of water, just tap water. A little salt and pepper. Squirt some lemon juice in there. And then stir all that up. You don't want it too runny and you don't want it too thick. Now you put the pork chops in the electric skillet. You pour the sauce over top of it and let them simmer for about an hour. But you want to check that vent on the top. About every 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, just lift the lid. If there's too much condensation and it's too watery, open the vent and let the steam out. If it looks like it's drying up, close that vent, add a little more water to it, and let it liquefy a little bit more. So just keep your eye on that steam vent on the top of your electric frying pan. Remember to put a slice of lemon on each pork chop, but don't eat the lemons. When you serve the pork chop, you want to take that lemon off, or let your guests know it's a garnish and it's decoration only, but don't eat it because it's nasty. The secret ingredient that I add is horseradish. I have sinus problems. I've had sinus problems since I was a teenager, and I've taken every medication that has ever been made. What works? Horseradish. I'll eat a spoonful of it in the morning and a spoonful at night, and that clears up my sinuses. The reason I might sound a little nasally is because a lot of people talk like this where I'm from. We just kind of have a sound to our voices. So if I were you, would not do the horseradish unless you know your guests really like it. You might want to keep the horseradish as a garnish on the side. But if I'm just making the pork chops for me, I add a lot of horseradish to it. You don't have to brown the pork chops ahead of time if you're doing them in the electric skillet, because as you saw in the video, they break apart with a fork because they're so tender, because you've cooked them for over an hour at that simmer temperature. And it's really good. So I don't have any exact amount. Experiment with it. I would love to know what you think. Remember, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, lemon juice, water, salt and pepper. Did I say brown sugar? Yeah. And then horseradish if you like. They're really good that way. I've been eating them like that since I was a small boy, and they're delicious. Well, everyone, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you're all doing well and staying warm if you're in a part of the country that's really cold right now. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, saying thanks for watching and so long for now.